Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Curitiba here in Brazil for this 60-minute GT3 sprint race. Looking at the qualifying results, we have Mikko Korkiakowski starting on pole with a 1:13.61, and then looking at the times, very close, Alex Scott with a 1:13.7. Then positions 3 to 7 covered by 1/10 of a second. And all the other times, Tony Jukic, Alex Fennell also very close to each other. Also Florian Kutz extremely close. So we're looking at one of the closest races here in URL history, judging by the qualifying times. So let's have a look at the race. So let's have a look at the start of this 60-minute GT3 race around Curitiba. Very short circuit. We have Mikko Korkiakowski on pole on the left, and let's see what he does when the green flag drops. Everyone is lined up on the grid, and green we go. Mikko gets away cleanly. There's some dust, but nothing major. Mikko already in first place by the beginning, by the first turn. Yeah, he doesn't make any mistake here. Nice train of cars. Two Lamborghinis side by side. Oh, and a contact. 3 cars out. I think it's Alex Fennell, Michal Klisch. Here in the front it's still quite clean. Oh, the BMW is going off. Everybody's settled down a bit now. Also the BMW getting back on the track. Let's have a look at the front. So Reinhard Berger got into second. He passed Alex Scott, who was in second position on the grid. And Korkiakowski and Berger have had some epic fights in both GT1 and GT3 racing. So it will be a very hard one to win for Mikko. And this is already lap 1, very short circuit, so probably there will be a lot of lapping cars, a lot of overlap during the pit stops. So we'll see what happens there. Oh, Miguel makes a mistake, gets out of the way, and he loses I think 3, probably 4 positions. So first race for the Lamborghinis, Peter Abelowski and Miguel Santiago Carao, and clearly still struggling with these GT3 cars. Side by side action here behind them. Very nice from Sten Mikkel Olsen. This is a very technical circuit. A lot of room for mistakes, although it's very short. These S's here are crucial to get right. You can easily lose half a second or a second here, so again side by side. Mikkel Olsen is on the inside. Can he keep a tight line? Let's see, a bit unstable there. Let's see if the BMW here can make a move. It's Peter Bacchus on Arjen de Jonge. Goes up the inside. Oof. And he passes Arjen. But he goes wide onto the grass, so some tight action here in the back. Let's quickly have a look in the front here. So we have Mikko pulling a little gap over Reinhard Berger. But Alex Scott is right on Berger's tail. So after them, behind them is Peter Abelowski in the Lamborghini. Then we have Florian Kutz in the Porsche through the S's. Juan Joubert in the Ferrari 458. chasing him down, and a mistake from Peter Abelovsky. Gets out side by side with Florian Kutz. Let's see if he can reclaim that position after that mistake. The off in the last turn. He is quite close. Let's go on board with Peter. No, he has to back out of it. No. Oh, a small mistake here. Peter makes the pass. It's already done. So Rohan Joubert now closer to these guys after their battle, and ready to pounce, it seems. Some great speed here. This is probably the most difficult turn on the track, as Miguel Santiago Caro shows here. Again, a spin, very difficult braking zone, and again he loses 2 positions. So Alex Scott and Reinhard Berger battling for second and third here around Curitiba. The Mercedes versus the Audi. Then Peter Abelovsky is in 4th, Florian Kutz in 5th. So a quick look. I don't think there will be any moves here. So Rohan Joubert in 6th. Then Sten Mikkel Olsen, Peter Bacchus, Miguel Santiago Caro, and Gianni Gainsford. And Arjen de Jonge leading Dubravko and Tony Ukic. So Tony Ukic was also involved in the first lap accident here, right here on this turn, and he's making a move on Dubravko, and he gets it done. Can he? Didn't he brake too late? No, he didn't. So nice move by Tony. Then we have Steve Birch, new driver in the Porsche, just in front of Alex Fennell, teammate of Alex Scott, who's currently in 3rd position. Greg Metcalf, then Sando Donadel, and Michal Klisch with a car which is an absolute mess. So we clearly had some incidents, but these Michal Klisch also already being lapped here, actually. So oh, and a mistake. So let's go back to the front here. Mikko Korkakowski is pulling a gap so he can focus on his lines, do the quick laps. Alex Scott fell back a bit from Reinhard Berger. Then we have Rohan Joubert, Florian Kutz, maybe Peter Bacchus here, and another mistake by Miguel Santiago Caro. So there's clearly something very wrong with that car, and of course also the driver. Peter Abelovsky dropped to 8th. That's not good either. As I said, a very technical circuit. We see cars not being very stable around some turns, and very difficult braking zones as well. So a short but difficult track. Peter Bacchus and Sten Mikkel Olsen now closely following each other. So let's see if Peter Bacchus can make a move here. Goes up the inside. They're side by side. Yes, but Sten is not giving up, and he will be pushed here into this braking zone. So important to not make any mistakes here for Peter Bacchus, which he doesn't. So up to 6th again. Nicely done. Tony Ukic and Gianni Gainsford here, battling it out. Oh, and Tony goes a bit wide. Gianni makes a mistake. But Tony stays in front, so well, nice but difficult move by Gianni, and he didn't pull it off. So Tony keeps 9th position. Alex Fennell and Dubravko Brezančić again battling it out into the last turn onto the straight. So let's have a look on board with Alex Fennell. He's very close, very close, and I think he has the move done if he doesn't make any mistakes in the braking zone. No, he doesn't. Through the S's, very difficult technical turn. So Alex Fennell takes the position. Then Peter Abelovsky in 8th here, just behind Sten Mikkel Olsen. Peter had made some mistakes in the beginning, in the opening laps, and now he's hunting down Sten Mikkel Olsen, who just went onto the grass, but he's able to stay in front. Let's see if Peter can make a move here. Sten goes defensive, so Peter will have to do it around the outside, which is extremely difficult on this first corner. Oh, and he spins himself. So again, very difficult, very dangerous spin here on the first chicane, but no harm done. Clearly the Lamborghini is not very suited to this track, or not well set up for this track. Greg Metcalf is now behind Dubravko Brezančić, and Dubravko is in the AM Cup, so this could be an easy move for Greg, but Dubravko has proven that he can run the lap times of the pro guys, so it will not be a straightforward pass for sure. We'll have to work for it. Meanwhile, we have Peter Backus now already in 5th, chasing down Ruan Joubert in the Ferrari 458, and Peter looks mighty fast here, so Ruan will have to look out. Don't make any mistakes here, guys. Oh, that's a shame. Ruan gets back onto the track, and Florian Kutz is going to pass him. They're side by side through the S's. Very difficult. Ruan doesn't want to give up the place. Has to slot in behind, and Peter Backus is, as we can see, a little further back. So the guys are battling hard here for all the points, all the positions. Florian Kutz is now in 4th. Then Ruan Joubert, Peter Backus, Sten Mikkel Olsen also took some time out of these guys. Oh, and again, mistake by Florian Kutz. I think he somehow hit Ruan Joubert because he's also in the gravel. That's unfortunate. They were just having a very close battle, so let's quickly go through the order again. Mikko Korkiakowski still in 1st. Reinhard Berger, he took some time out of Mikko again. Now Alex Fennell in 3rd fell a bit back, so Reinhard can focus on his lines, and his lap times are dropping for sure. Then in 4th is Peter Backus after the incident between Florian and Ruan. Then we have Sten Mikkel Olsen, who also passed these two guys. And Tony Ukic, also positive news for him. And then behind those guys is Florian and Ruan, 7 and 8. Alex Vanel in 9th position, Greg Metcalf in 10th, Dubravko Brezanjic. So Greg managed to get past Dubravko and already pulled a reasonable gap, so he's clearly a bit faster than the Ford GT. Then Miguel Santiago Carao, after several mistakes, in 12th. Arjen de Jonge battling it out with another Aston Martin, Steve Birch. When he goes quite aggressive on the throttle, goes sideways. Let's have a quick look if there are any position changes here. Behind those guys we see I think it's already the leader. So Sando Donadel in 15th is being lapped by Reinhard Berger, who we see just here, and a mistake by Arjen de Jonge as well. So we have Sando letting by Reinhard. Nicely done. Further back Arjen de Jonge after the mistake, and Michal Klisch. Johnny Gainsford parked his car, so problems for him. And then we're back to first position. So Reinhard Berger, as we saw, quite close now to Miko, and pit stops are not too far away, so we'll see what happens there. Currently we have Alex Vanel, Alex Scott's teammate, hunting down Ruan Joubert in the Ferrari. Ruan had an eventful start to the race already, and we see puffs of smoke here into the last turn, so clearly all the guys are going all out for the best lap time. Florian Kutz in 7th now, with Tony Ukic in front of him, and then Steen here making a mistake. Will he lose a position? I think he will. Comes back onto the track and Tony passes him. This is clearly a race of not making mistakes, and the only ones that are not doing that are probably Miko, Reinhard and Alex, although he dropped back a bit, so I think he has made some small mistakes. We see the first car coming into the pits. It's Miguel Santiago Carao. He had some serious issues, so he will probably try to get the damage repaired early and try to do a good second stint to gain some ground on the other guys. Do the undercut, as they say. So Peter Backus now passing Sando Donadel, lapping him actually. Then Tony Ukic, Sten Mikkel Olsen and Florian Kutz here in the Porsche. Behind those guys it's Ruan Joubert and Alex Vanel. And then it's Greg Metcalf, so that's a lapped car still behind. We see the marshals also with the blue flag. And Santiago Carao now coming out of the pits as well. Mistake from Steve Birch. Michal Klisch up to 14th after his problems during the start. Quite some incidents. Miguel is now in last position, I think. Arjen de Jonge is pitting, so he's in last effectively. And then we have seen all the field, so Mikko Korkiakowski in first position. Florian Kutz here before the pit stops, very close to Sten Mikkel Olsen. I see back here that Ruan Joubert has already pitted behind these guys, so he's also trying to do the undercut, getting new tires, putting some laps down, but the field is so spread out that most of the fast guys will encounter lapped cars, and you will always lose some time with passing them, so it will never be easy. Sten Mikkel Olsen swerving from left to right, keeping the car under control. So lots of guys in the pits. Reinhard Berger has just come out of the pits. So Mikko Korkiakowski is still to pit, and we'll see who comes out on top. The gap was quite small. Also Alex Scott is doing great pit stops last few races, so he's one to watch out for. It will not be easy for Reinhard nor Mikko. Florian Kutz came out in 7th after his pit stop. That's quite high. I think he didn't change tires. Fast pit stop from him. So let's see if the tire wear here is not too high for him, and if he can get some advantage from that risky move in the pits. So we have Mikko Korkiakowski coming out of the pits. Peter Bakus is currently in 2nd. So let's see where he comes out. Peter Bakus already pitted, so Mikko will exit the pits in 1st position with Peter Bakus in 2nd, Alex Scott in 3rd, and then Reinhard Berger. So Reinhard and Alex swap positions in the pits as I predicted. Oh, and a stalled car there from Arjen de Jonge on the exit of the 1st chicane. Korkiakowski now has the advantage. He's has a small gap to the 3 guys behind, and he can pick his lines against the lapped cars. Whereas these 3 guys here, they will be also battling each other and putting less energy in the lapped cars, probably losing them a little bit more time. Oh, very wide from Alex Scott, really pushing. Peter Bakus goes defensive. Will there be a move here? Let's see. Alex goes up the inside, makes the move. Nicely done. And he keeps it together. Now just getting the exit right here. Okay. So Alex got up to 2nd. Peter Bakus in 3rd. I think he might not have changed tires as well, because he was not that high up and he was a bit back, so probably he's struggling with his tires, whereas Alex Scott and Reinhard Berger do have brand new medium tires, medium slicks to get the full grip from. And this track is quite high on tire wear, so double stinting is a real risk. Florian Kutz also did it. We'll see where these guys end up. Let's have a look further back. Tony Ukic is in 5th now. Florian Kutz on his worn tires in 6th. And he's not really falling back, so until now it's working well for him. Then Alex Van El. Sten Mikkel Olsen, he lost sometimes in the pits, it seems. And Greg Metcalf, Sando Donadel. They're very close to each other. Sando is an AM driver here, so will be difficult for him to catch Greg, because he will also have some weight due to our balancing system. Ron Joubert also had a very bad stop, I think, 11th position. Then Dubravko Brezančić, Miguel Santiago Carao in 13th. So after the pit stops, he probably made some other mistakes, because he came in early. Michal Klisch in 14th. And then Steve Birch, Arjen de Jonge, who is also struggling with the car, it seems, and Johnny Gainsford, who parked the car. So Alex Scott passing a lapped car here. I think it's Steve Bursch. Yep. He pulled quite a gap on Peter Backus, who was also passed by Reinhard Berger. So it's Scott and Berger, both on the podium, but in a reversed order. Let's see if Berger can close that gap down again and retake his second position. Meanwhile, Alex Fennell has closed down on Florian Kutz with the worn tires. Oh, and a mistake from Alex. So will he lose another position? No, Sten is quite far away, but still there is Alex getting back on the track, and Florian now has some clear air in 6th position. Sten is surely not close enough. After some laps, Alex Fennell again has closed down up on Florian Kutz, and he's looking mighty strong. Ooh, I don't think it's possible to pass there, but he will force Florian to take the defensive line here, so let's see. Florian is slow off the line. Alex has the inside line, flashes his lights, and he goes through. So he takes 6th position. Very nice. So Mercedes guys in 6th and 2nd. Strong team points, I would say. Meanwhile, Rohan Joubert and Greg Metcalf are battling for the last positions in the top 10. Locking the tires for both these drivers. Well, let's see who comes out on top in the end. But let's have a look at the front of the field. It's still Mikko Korkiakowski with quite a gap over Alex Scott. You can still see him on the straight, so it's not a very big gap. Mikko can't afford to make any big mistakes, but he has the room to choose his overtaking spots on the lapped cars, like on the straight here, losing as little time as possible. Alex Scott in 2nd, then Reinhard Berger in 3rd, Peter Backus in 4th, Tony Ukic in 5th. The field has really spread out now. Alex Fennell in 6th, as we saw, passing Florian Kutz. Florian Kutz still behind him. Then Sten Mikkel Olsen. He is just in front of his teammate, so I suspect he will let him through. Then Greg Metcalf and Rohan Joubert still battling it out for 9th and 10th. Dubravko Brezančić leading the AM Cup at the moment. Michal Klisch is going to pass him, but he's a pro driver, or pro class driver at least. So shame for Dubravko for the points, but still class leader. Then Sandro Donadel in 2nd for the AM Cup. Steve Bursch in the Aston Martin. Then Arjen de Jonge and Santiago Caro parked the car. Also his teammate Peter Abelovsky did that, and Johnny Gainsford also. We're looking again at 2nd place man Alex Scott in the last part of the race. Few laps to go, but onto the grass. Oh, and he makes a mistake. Keeps it out of the barriers, but there is Reinhard Berger. Will he be able to pass him? I don't think the Mercedes will get up to speed in time, so position change, what Berger was hunting for, and luckily he was close enough to take advantage of that mistake from Scott. And now we'll see who has the best pace. So they're really close together, and I think Scott will want to have that second position back if he can. Ron Joubert and Greg Metcalf going into the final turn of this lap. Not the end of the race yet, but Ron closer than ever, and Greg knows it. He goes to the left to defend. I don't think Ruan has the straight line speed to make a move here. He will slot in behind. Oh, and he's quite a bit faster through the S's here. Can he put his nose up the inside? If he can do that, then next corner is his. But he can't, so he still has to slot in behind. Something will have to happen here for these two drivers. There will be attempts from Ruan. Until the end of the race he will not give up that position. When a mistake locks up the tires from Ruan. So I said it. Something had to happen and Ruan is back on track, but he lost that position. Or I mean, he lost the feeling with Greg. So I think this battle is over for the race. Let's go back to the front. Let's drive on board with Alex Scott here. He's making a move and he understeers under braking, taps Reinhard and apologizes, of course. No position changes. Luckily no other drivers close to them, but Alex really wants that position, and I think he's not close enough at the moment, and I'm not sure if he will have time to get that position back. The low revving engine of the Mercedes SLS GT3 versus the Audi R8 GT3. Both very fast, very successful cars. But here I think it will depend on the drivers, what lap times they can do. Alex is not close enough at the moment. And here we are, last lap, last turn. Mikko Korkiakoski will take the checkered flag and the first place on the podium for this Curitiba race. Very nicely done by him. Great consistency in his lap times. Reinhard Berger will stay in front of Alex Scott. But this was a hard fought race for them. Alex Scott in third, Peter Bakos in fourth, Tony Jukic in fifth, Alex